Okay, I have plugged it in. And now the first thing you're going to want to do is check to make sure that it works. So what you want to do is hit the switch to turn it on the right-hand side, as we talked about. And then turn the light up. You want to make sure that the light comes on. If it doesn't, then you need to call your instructor over and make sure everything's okay. And there's no shame in that. Everybody makes mistakes, so if you just hadn't plugged it in right, don't worry about it. This is what we're here for. A good general rule, so that you do not end up with a horrible headache, is to turn the light all the way up. Again, do not look through the oculars yet. All the way up, and then about a quarter of a turn back. That's a good starting place in order to put your slide on there and not have it so bright that you want to die, or so dark that you think you're losing your mind. Okay, so what we're doing here is we have underneath the stage a way to adjust our light. You'll see that there is a slider underneath your stage. I'm just going to use my other camera to take a picture of that. So I would set it at the setting for the 4x objective. Always start with the 4x objective in place. Next thing you're going to want to do is clean your oculars, and you're going to have your lab instructor show you how to do that because each lab has little different supplies. So you'll use lens paper and microscope cleaner to clean these objectives. Always use wet or damp things on something that's glass because it can scratch very easily. And always use lens paper because it doesn't have any fibers in there that will scratch these incredibly expensive lenses. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is fit these oculars to our eyes. If you grab these, you'll see that they move. You always want to be gentle. The first step, move them all the way out. Bring your eyes in really close. Now, if you have an astigmatism like I do, you have to leave your glasses on because the microscope cannot correct an astigmatism. If you do not have an astigmatism, then you can take your glasses off and do this. You need to get really close to this microscope. You guys are going to be friends. So you get very, very close, and you want to try to look straight out, right? You don't want to do that through the eyelashes. You don't want to do too high. Your neck will hurt eventually, or you just won't be able to see. So you want to make sure you're looking straight. If you have long eyelashes, or if you do see your eyelashes, it just means your head's at the wrong angle. Experiment with that. Make your chair comfortable and make sure you're looking straight in. So you won't be able to see anything yet. Now you just very slowly and evenly bring the oculars together until the two circles of light become one. You may need to do this a few times. It's okay. When they become one, you're seeing down the barrel of the microscope with both eyes. You should see a line that's a pointer, and you can move that by moving the eyepiece. This just allows you to point things. And in this microscope, the right eyepiece has the pointer, and the left eyepiece actually has something called a micrometer that allows you to estimate sizes of things, which is pretty cool. Okay, so once you get that lined up, awesome. We're going to take a slide. I'm just going to take a random slide here, and I'm going to cover the brand, hopefully. And then what I'm going to do is open the clamp and slide my slide in. All the way to the back, all the way to the right. And then slowly release the clamp. Do not just, boom, release the clamp because you will shatter the slide. You don't want to do that. And you'll see that your slide is contained in your slide holder. And you can move it around, which is pretty cool. Then we want to take our slide and we want to, right, again, we're still not looking through the eyepieces, just looking at the stage. Use those knobs on the right-hand side to move the slide until the sample, whatever it is we're looking at, is right in the middle of the light. Once it's in the middle of the light, you're ready to go. Now we're going to look through our oculars, and we're going to use the coarse focus to get this coarsely, roughly in focus. Move my slides. So just crank that coarse focus slowly. You'll see, remember, it's the big knob. Until you start to see something. When you have the 4x objective in, you have so much room between the end of the lens and the slide that you can literally crank that coarse focus all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom, and you don't have to worry. That's why we start with the 4x scanning objective. Crank it till you start to see something. Ooh, I don't know what it is, but it's cool. Get it as in focus as you can. And then once you're happy with the coarse focus, that's when you use the fine focus to make it perfect. Now, focus is subjective. What that means is what I'm focusing in on might be a little different from what you're focusing in on. So you really can't have somebody help you focus. You just kind of have to play with it until you're happy. A great way to practice the fine focus is go past focus in one direction and past focus in the other direction, and then figure out where it looks the clearest. So pick a spot that you really want to look at and use your fine focus to get it just right. Okay, so you've got it how you want it. But maybe you don't want to just look at it with a 4x objective. So side note here. The objective magnifies things 4 times. The ocular in this case, you have to look at it to see that, magnifies things 10 times. So your total magnification is figured out by multiplying your objective times your ocular. So 4 times 10 is 40. So you're really looking at it at 40x magnification. I want to make sure you always write down your total magnification, again, which is the objective times the ocular. So this is at 40x. Maybe I want to zoom in. As long as it was in focus, all you do, click it to a 10x objective. There's the click. And then you only use your fine focus because you can see the distance between your objective lens and your slide is much, much smaller. We don't want to use our coarse focus with a 10x objective, just the fine. So you look through and use your fine focus until you get a good, clear view of whatever it is you want it to look at. Now let's say you're looking at it and you say, I really want to see something that's up and to the right. I don't want to look at this thing that's in the center. You're going to use your knobs that move your stage and your slide to push it to wherever you want it. So move your knobs, turn it to wherever you want it, and then use your fine focus. Now remember we said underneath the stage is a way to adjust your light. If you're looking through and you're like, this seems a little dim or bright, just reach under the stage and use that slider to adjust your light till you are happy with it. There's a lot of art in microscopy, which is why I love it. Okay, so maybe we want to go a little higher. There's one really important thing you want to do before you go higher. Decide what you want to look at. So I'm going to look through my microscope and say, I want to look at a particular area of this tissue. So to do that, I'm going to use my slide knobs, my stage moving and slide moving knobs, to move that area into the center of my field of view. So your field of view is that circle that you're looking at. That's called the field of view. And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as you go up in magnification, which makes sense if you really think about it. So think about it for a second if you need to. We're going to put whatever I want to see up close in the center of my field of view using those knobs. Because if I don't, I won't be able to see it when I go up to the 40x objective. Okay, as long as it is in focus and you have the thing in the center that you want to see, all you have to do now is grab your turret and click your 40x objective into place. Now you might get a little nervous as you do this, and that is okay. That objective lens is going to be less than 1 millimeter from your slide. It's going to be very close. As long as your 10x objective was in focus, it will not hit the slide. If you need to, just very slowly move it in. And there we go, it clicked in. Now you really only ever want to use your fine focus here, because you will definitely break the slide and the objective lens if you don't, and you will be paying for that. Okay, I'm going to use my fine focus, and I'm going to get it as fabulous as I can. I'll play with my light to focus in on what is on my slide. Okay, now we're done looking at this, but in order to change the slide, we have to go all the way back to the 4x objective, because that's too close. If you try to move the slide now, you'll scrape it. That's no fun. Turn, sorry. There's our slide, lots of room. I would still maybe push your coarse focus knob so that you have your slide all the way down. Never a bad thing to do. Pinch the pinch clamp, pull the slide, and now you can change the slide and you just start over. So every time you put a new slide on, you start with the 4x objective, right? 4 times 10 is 40. And you focus all the way up through. And when you are done with your microscope or you're done with the slide, you put the 4x objective in, you put the stage down, you switch the slides, or you might put the microscope away. So let's say we're done for the day. We want to basically do a reverse of what we just did. Put the 4x objective in, stage down, light all the way down, light off, unplug, wrap the cord, loosen the set screw, support the head and turn it, tighten the set screw, finger tight again, remember, not superhero tight. And then if you need to put it back in a cabinet, you'll pick it up by the neck and the base and carefully carry it to where it needs to go. Okay, that's it for now. I hope that was helpful.